putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you, they was blocking the shine. Now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing!
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you, they was blocking the shine. Now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hello and welcome. Yeah, I didn't get the second part. Hello and welcome, Rocket League fans. We are here and we are live. Little ECAC action coming at you. That's the Eastern Collegiate Athletic Conference, people. I'm FBI Tugbot. I'm here with the GOAT, Curtis. Curtis, how are we doing?
Doing pretty good. Excited for this week, Tug. We have a do or die matchup. It is week 8 of Swiss, which is the final week. It is the University of Albany, and it is Central Missouri Red. That's the team matchup. Both of them 4-3. One of them gets to 5 wins and moves into the playoffs in a couple weeks. The other one, no dice.
You drop down, you get a nice clap on the back. A good job. I hope you had fun in this Collegiate Rocket League season. But before we get into that matchup, of course, Curtis, we got to talk about the people and the organizations that do make this possible. First and foremost, that is KTAD, out there producing her way and making our jobs as casters just so much easier. Curtis, I am nothing more than a beautiful voice attached to a gorgeous face, screaming about Rocket League in my room without our production staff. They connect this wild rambling on into you people so that you can maybe enjoy the Rocket League broadcast, and we do enjoy that. Big shout out to EMP Live Designs. That's the company bringing you all of that, and KTAD the man here today. But also, and of course, I got to talk about you-know-who, Lenovo Legion. Yes, Lenovo Legion knows that you play to win. To stand out from the I'm having too much fun here, Curtis. To stand out from the competition, you need equipment that matches the speed of your thoughts and your actions, people. The Legion Y25 monitor delivers wins in the toughest and most critical of situations. I need to work on my wire consolidation. While its extreme 1 millisecond response time to its insane 240 hertz refresh rate, the Legion Y25 doesn't just keep up, it does a lot more. It cannot currently conduct and process your taxes within the United States of America yet. Well, maybe next year. Built for those engaged in vast multiplayer battles at the tournament level, the Legion Y25 offers a 25.5-inch full HD IPS panel with built-in NVIDIA G-Sync compatibility, and the Legion Y25 monitor is available at Lenovo.com and other fine retailers. I think I was like 3 seconds late on that.
That's okay. That's all right. We are actually already in, though, game number 1. Thank you to Lenovo and everybody that makes this possible. And now we get to game time. We're 13 seconds in to game number 1. University of Albany in the blue, Central Missouri in the orange. And win or go home is the scenario we have in front of us. On Albany, I'll take them. You want to take Central Missouri. It is Sard,
yes,
Expired Sweat, and Kaiju for Albany. And give me Central Missouri.
Yeah, a little bit of a lonkier names here. We got Donkers, we got Rob East, and we got Grim. Making up your Central Missouri. Excuse me.
You got it.
Central Missouri squad. That is the red squad, of course. Multiple teams obviously represented within there. Expired Sweat getting something going here early. Grim and the rest of Central Missouri not willing to give this one up quite yet. Is that Sard followed up by Kaiju? Kaiju. Yep. Kaiju. Is that a character name?
It is. There's a bunch. I'm not sure the exact definition. I know I've heard it before. It's something, essentially, yeah, Japanese spirit and
some weeb stuff.
Yeah,
some weeb stuff.
Weeb stuff. Jesus.
Got it.
All right. 3:39 to go. Still scoreless as we get towards the midfield line. Kaiju's gonna send it in. Chance for Rob East to get it out to mid. He will do so. Donkers needs a little bit of help. Grim tries to get up to knock it into the offensive zone. Rob East going to try to work this on a double, but he doesn't have enough boost to get there. Kaiju to the sidewall. Doesn't matter. Grim off the back wall, just above the bar. Expired Beast will try to take control. There's a demo out in front. The ball ricochets into the Central Missouri end. 3:10 to go in a scoreless contest. Good, even, back and forth. Not a lot of scoring opportunities on either side as of right now.
I'm not surprised. Look at how little this ball is spinning across the middle of these fields. This has been a real hot and heavy offense on both sides, but on the other side, these defenses not only are...
Okay.
Let's watch this one again, because I'm not sure how that happened.
Just a pinch, actually. It was a one that went across the face of goal, and nothing that Grim can do to get up and stop with that, as it was just pinched against the post, against the crossbar, and into that little intersection, and it found its way home.
Yeah, holy moly. I think everybody kind of got touch onto that ball, really just going around hot potato for a brief second, and just so happens the last angle is true.
And that will work. Kaiju going to have a chance with Expired Sweat to move it upfield. Expired Sweat out into the middle. Sard gets demoed. He'll have to wait 3 seconds to play again. This will be into the Albany end. Good play by Sard. Off the nose of Kaiju, but there is Albany. There's Missouri making things difficult one more time. That's going to be in the face of goal, and Kaiju with the removal. We've passed halftime in game number 1. Another chance in front that goes by the wayside. Still a 1-0 lead for Albany.
Bounce across this middle. I like plays like this because it forces hands of defenders, but just like that, Donkers is able to get onto this right side, and that is almost a perfect solo play. You want something done, Curtis? You gotta do it yourself.
At least to very much make the effort. This will be a chance for Expired Sweat. Has Kaiju waiting in the middle. These two seem to be the offensive players on this Albany roster. Sard comes in to try to make things difficult. Rob East over the midfield line, but there's Sweat one more time. Puts Donkers in an uncomfortable spot. Into that corner. Chance for Kaiju. Going to try to work it down into the mid and give his team a chance. Sard makes contact, but nothing doing, and Central Missouri will take possession. Just 90 seconds left. Talk about in what is a very close game. Pass in the middle. Kaiju did not want it there, but they do live to tell about it and remain up 1-0.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised that this scoreline is what it is right here, and I would not be surprised, Curtis, if in 70 seconds or so that is the final score. We see nothing more and no formal overtime within game number 1. We always say it, game 1 is just that taste test, just a little back and forth in a best of 5, which this is. Nothing really definitive decided in that game number 1 except for what you learn about your opponents. And hey, maybe even about yourself. I'm getting philosophical here.
There's a defensive play from Kaiju. Knocked away. Sard wins the better of that exchange. Kaiju will give chase. Gets past Grim. Kaiju into the middle. That's a pass. Expired Sweat just wide of that right post. That's an opportunity gone by, and maybe a counter the other way. Donkers is up. Puts this one towards the net. Big stop by Expired Sweat. Still in the middle. Chance Robbies. That's off the post as well. Chance after chance going by the wayside. Grim will knock it up to Sard, and back the other way comes Albany with plenty of room and plenty of time. 18 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, just like that, a couple seconds burned off. Hit it against this top corner. Now Kaiju sending it over and lofting. That was another 10 seconds burned off. That is just the name of the game for your Albany squad as they're up 1-0. Last real offensive push coming in here, Curtis.
It is indeed. Chance for Donkers going to put it down. Robbie's right there. Not going to work. Grim's got to try to keep this in the air. Kaiju looking to kill it. Grim puts it off the wall. To the ground it goes. And we have ourselves a Game 1 win. 1-0 in favor of Albany. They lead the series 1-0.
I gotta say, 0-1s are my favorite score lines here, Curtis. It shows that this is two teams just absolutely went down swinging. But taking it to the numbers for a second, pay no attention to the stat line behind the black curtain or whatever, right? Because this is Central Michigan. Why do I keep saying that? Central Missouri, Michigan and Missouri are two different places, Curtis.
Yes, they are. Yep.
9 different shots attempts across Central Missouri, and every player got 3. What that tells me is it's a very, very well-rounded squad. Now, looking at Albany, yes, Curtis, they took the dub, but I think you can also see the difference here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. More even attack, more even opportunities from Central Missouri. They had a majority of the possession, I'd say, as well. We spent more time in the Albany end than we did in the Central Missouri end, and that's something that needs to be fixed if you're Albany. You cannot consistently win with that formula. You see Expired Sweat, majority of the offense as far as Albany is concerned, and not really spreading the love per se, although the other two were definitely a contributing factor on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. The solo offense here from University of Albany, I just don't see this game number 2 going the same way if it comes down and you have the same 6 players doing the same game of 5 minutes on the Rocket League pitch here. This was not for lack of trying that the score difference was only 1-0. Albany was not gifted to them by any means. That back and forth play, again, we'll try and get that on replay later because that stumped even this guy. And when it comes to Rocket League, I'm not a dullard like other things, okay?
Underway, game number 2 as we get into it. Watch the boosts in the Albany end. That was the reason Central Missouri was able to keep it into the Albany end for a majority of that. Albany needs to control their own boosts a little bit better. Expired Sweat looking for a carry towards the net. Big save coming out. Grim comes across the face of goal as well as one of his teammates to take that away. Chance for Kaiju. Albany trying to set up an offense here. Pass in the middle. That's a great play to Expired Sweat. Past the two defenders and a 1-0 lead.
So just like that, Central Michigan puts up a donut, a goose egg, a 0 score in the best way possible, I'll say, in a 0-1 scoreline. But just like that, moving into game number 2, 26 seconds into this one, and Albany strikes way quicker than they did earlier. I'll say it. I said it about the last one, and I'll say the opposite here. This one is not going to be a low-scoring affair.
No, I would say not good start to end that. Central Missouri down 1, trying to get their first goal of the series. That's a pass into the middle, but handled easily by Kaiju. Rob East tries to go far side with this. Donkers! Doesn't matter. Rob East gets credit for the goal as that one pinches off the post, and it's a 1-1 game.
A little pinch post. Central Missouri comes into this one after spending 5 minutes and 38 seconds with no scores on board. It always rains eventually, Curtis.
Ready to go. 48 seconds into game 2, and we are even at 1 apiece. First goal of the day for Central Missouri. Expired Sweat puts us up into the air with a little bit of help. Grimm tries the carry into the middle. Doesn't quite get to frame. Good removal by Sard. Rob East gets that taken away. This is an odd man rush. Kaiju on the ground trying to find the flip towards the net. Not going to work. It'll go over the head of Sard back the other way. This is a counterattack for Central Missouri. Grimm into the middle. That's a chance with an empty net off the bar. Rebound there for Rob East, and he will get it on the bump in front of the net. 2-1 lead for Central Missouri.
Okay, Curtis, some numbers coming at you. 5 minutes, 1 score on board. 1 minute and 19 seconds, and we got 3 already.
Yep.
Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
Good stuff from Central Missouri, who seem to be come out swinging in this second game. Kaiju. Oh, no, that's an empty net right there towards the goal line. Rob East makes a save on the goal line, recovering off the kickoff. That was dangerous and nearly tied the game. But here comes Albany trying to make things difficult on Central Missouri. That's going to Plinko back down towards the goal line. He scores. Kaiju gets credit to all with 3:24 to go.
So we saw the first actual lead change here, right? Not just the initial, but an actual lead change going for Central Missouri earlier. University of Albany lets that situation live for a quick 23-second life.
Deuce is wild. 3:24 left. Grimm going to try to get towards the sidewall with it. Rob East puts that one towards the net, tries to fly to it and fall on top. Kaiju off the left bumper. That gets sent wall to wall, side to side. Expired Sweat responsible enough to send this deep into the Central Missouri end. Rob East gets contact, and around the corner goes Expired Sweat. A chance for Kaiju. Taken down. More contact. Good bounce towards that net. Donkers making Expired Sweat make a save there. Rob East trying to carry it with him. Expired Sweat again above his own bar. Kaiju goes long with this, needs a little bit of help. Tries the double tap, but it was a little bit too fast for him. And Grimm has possession for only a moment. We're approaching halftime in game number 2. And a 2-2 scoreline to boot as things have slowed down on the scoring side, at least for the time being.
Yeah, double tap always going to be a difficult effort there for Kaiju, but it was kind of the mistake twice, right? The first one just a little bit too high. Given this is a breakaway situation, nobody would have gotten anything but like a second row seat to that goal. As it is, tied up, like you said, just past halftime now, as this is Central Missouri trying to get in the offensive third for a while.
Kaiju will take that away, though, and reverse it from whence it came. More consistent offense from Albany we've seen over the last little while. Rob East will miss contact in his own corner. We'll find it anyway. Carry above 1. Trying to get it above Expired Sweat. That's off the back. Chance in front. Sent off to the side, and Donkers will defensively touch us into his own corner. We got about 100 seconds to go in game 2. Rob East has Donkers in the middle. Might be able to use them, but a good play by Kaiju not to let that in frame again as we remain tied at 2.
Low and slow right here as Kaiju goes. Love to see this. That was over past 2. One hit the rotation on the back, and teammates didn't really show up as much. Not sure if they were anticipating that or what, but regardless, still tied up. A lot of pressure regardless. Not for lack of trying here, Curtis. Not for lack of trying, but still. I would not be surprised if this one goes down to overtime. I predicted the last one would not. It didn't. This one, I would not be surprised.
Sard with a save that stops this one from giving the lead to Central Missouri. Grimm is there. Sard puts contact back towards midfield. Donkers and Rob East will team up on a clear back into the Albany side. Central Missouri making things make sense here. Grimm in front. Sard makes the stop. Left wing side off the corner. Kaiju gets bumped. Expired Sweat. Hard send over to the midfield line with 45 ticks to go. That's towards the net. Off the corner. Sard. Sard has Kaiju in the mid. Go around that corner, looking for a pinch into the middle. Kaiju with a chance. Couldn't quite direct it goalward. And we'll go back into the Albany end on defense with 2-2s on the scoreline.
Yeah, I gotta say, this University of Albany offense just not firing on all the same cylinders, just not really hitting each other in stride, right? Those were perfect opportunity passes-wise earlier, and these teammates just going a little bit too fast or slow at each other. It could be a 3-2 scoreline right now, Curtis, as it is. We are flirting with overtime.
We are indeed. 5 seconds left on this clock. Central Missouri trying to find some last-second heroics, as is Kaiju. Got to get it up in the air. The carry into the middle is knocked away. Grimm goes long with this. It'll touch the ground, and we do have game 2 extra time.
Flirting's over, Curtis. She said yes.
This will be a chance. Expired Sweat down to Grimm. Grimm with a carry. Try to work it into the middle. Ends up going wall to wall, side to side, and Rob East will let them hit it to him. Didn't work. That's a hard send towards the net, just outside that post. Expired Sweat still there, though. Central Missouri getting comfy on defense. They seem to be pretty okay with rotations, getting the ball away from frame, but more chances for Albany to get something going. It's Sard. Sard needs some help here. Pops it up in the air. Rob East gets contact. Albany first sustained pressure in a little while here as we play 43 seconds of OT. Rob East lurking in the middle. Kaiju might not need him, and it's sent away by Rob East as we played just about a full minute of extra time in this second game, and Albany has given up the possession at this point. That's a chance inside corner and score. Grimm wins game 2 for Central Missouri, and it is a 1-1 series tie.
So this comes off the back of Kaiju, both literally and figuratively, right? Kaiju has a bad angle on the bottom, and then it comes and being unwilling to split the post here, not make a decision, right or left, picks nothing, stays in the middle, ball bounces off the top of his car and continues the trajectory on towards goal. This is not a situation where scoring would have been, I'm not going to say possible, but wouldn't have been anywhere near as easy if Kaiju simply had gotten out of the way. Like, that was one of the many times in Rocket League that the decision, if you do not make it, is going to be made for you.
Yeah.
You stay in the middle. Frequently, that's a block away. That's on his side, though. If this had been on the other side, it'd be the same thing as a teammate trying to put it up and, again, not getting out of the way and blocking away a teammate's offensive shot. That just equals out to this, and what was a very long game, a 6-minute total game, of course, minute into overtime right here. Central Missouri does strike back. And with that, we have purchased ourselves, of course, Curtis, a little bit of Rocket League, extra-wise.
Yeah, at this point, we're looking at a best of 3 to see who moves into the playoffs and who does not. That's what's at stake for these 6 players on the field right now, and I can tell you that Albany is forcing Central Missouri to make saves. So that's the biggest thing that I'm noticing out of the chances that were given. If you are Albany, you need to continue to do that, and we'll see what Game 3 has in store for us in this particular matchup. It is Week 8 of the ECAC Spring 22 regular season. FBI, Tugboat, and Curtis in the booth with you, and we're ready to go for this third game, Tug, and that essentially these two teams, even across the stat lines, even across the scoreboard, a majority of the time, making for some entertaining Rocket League.
Yeah, that's entirely true, right? 3 total scores for Central Missouri across games 1 and 2. 3 total scores for University of Albany across games 1 and 2. We have an incredibly close series in every way, shape, and form, with both teams, if they win, receiving the same thing. Same is true on defensive side, or on the lost side. You understand?
Fair enough. I see what you're. I see where you're at. Donker's going to put this up in the air. There's a demo defensively. That may set up Rob East with a real good opportunity. Looking to put this towards the net. Big save coming across as Kaiju just respawned in the nick of time to keep that out. And then gets a second to clear it again. We're 50 seconds in, still scoreless as we play Game 3.
Throw the cape on the back. That was a Superman play right there, Curtis. Some fantastic stuff. I love Kaiju's bus as well.
Yeah,
Gotta love it.
that's pretty
Gotta
good.
love it.
That's
Yeah, I
pretty
mean,
good.
that one coming obviously from a little bit of a different media source. Is that what you call for it now?
Different universe. Same publisher,
There you
different
go.
universe.
Got it. Looking to do battle. On the battle bus, though, Kaiju is. We really have seen this player in offensive positions so frequently here. Like just looking at time-wise, right? It's usually Kaiju up front. Oh, my goodness. Donkers coming in with a doink. Right here, 108 kilometers per hour, folks. I'm going to write it down. I believe that's the fastest goal on stream so far today.
That sounds about right to me. He did it from about 2 feet away from the goal line, but either way, we're a minute and a half in to game number 3, Central Missouri. Up by a score of 1-0. And they'll have an opportunity to get even. Will Albany, chance for Sard, dropping it down, and he scores. Just like that, we are tied.
Drop it low. There you go, Sard. Fantastic stuff. Just outside, 100 kilometers left. 100 kilometers speed on there. And that's going to be the assist from Expired Sweat. Taking it to the numbers briefly. 2 shots attempted from Albany, 3 shots attempted from Central Missouri. 2 shots Albany, 2 saves Albany, 1 save Central Missouri. Oh my God. Okay, Curtis, looks like whatever happened between game 2 and 3 has just taken this game and turned it up to 11, taken the knob off and thrown it out the window.
Donkers, something revitalized him between the games 2 and 3 for sure. A nice double touch here sets it up off the opportunity, and it's a 2-1 game for Central Missouri. And now Albany finds themselves behind the 8 ball. That's a pass into the middle. Expired Sweat tries to take this back to mid. Kaiju will follow this up off the carry. Puts it up the sidewall. Looking to put it into the middle. That's going to go off the corner. Into frame. Keeps it himself right there for Sard. Far side and in. We are deuces wild again with 2:57 to go.
Yeah, wow. So Kaiju brings this one over, and that's going to be Sard rocketing it home all day long. You called it. This is wild. 3 minutes left. Still anybody's game.
One of these two teams going to be able to put their opponent on match point at the end of this one. Rob East is going to put his team into a real good position, and
Holy
Grimm is
moly.
going to hit it home. 3-2. They go back and forth again.
Yeah, so that was a short-lived tie-up situation, right? No rest for the weary here between University of Albany and Central Missouri. Love to see it.
Just under 3 minutes to go. Kaiju again on the bounce. Going to put this towards the net. Rob East with a save. Pass in the mid. Sard is right there. Far side off the post. Very close. Still Kaiju tries to come in for the rebound. Didn't quite work, and Donkers will take possession. Here's Kaiju again. Trying to work it into the mid. Rob East will take it away from him. Off the ramp. That works it into the middle. Nice pinch play. Might set up Central Missouri. From the parking lot, it's going to be in. Grimm hits it from his own goal line. It's a 4-2 game.
Wow, yeah, from the parking lot from other states right there. Man, oh man, 122 kilometers an hour. Of course, that is sped up way, way, way closer in. Would have gone in regardless, but good to still get this one up and make plays onto ball regardless, right? You know it's going to go in if you let it go.
2:22 to go in a 4-2 contest. Central Missouri really putting a foothold into game 3, but Albany has some time. Expired Sweat gets bumped away from the ball. Taken back over mid. Dangerous area. Expired Sweat tried to roll into it. Didn't quite work out. His Donkers will put it in. Grimm has a dribble. Rob East taken away from him. Back towards the sidewall. Around 1. Sard goes off of the lateral wall. It'll hit the intersection and go straight up in the air for Rob East, who's going to work Central Missouri into the offense. Flip reset's a good one. The pass down to Donkers, and he finds the net. A 3-goal deficit in game 3.
I gotta say, Curtis, it seems like after these two teams came out of game 2, right? Again, I always say the most important part of these games, the conversations between teammates and coaches in between these games. I would have loved to been a fly on the wall on either of these teams' Rocket League programs, 7 minutes ago now, right?
Right.
In between these. This is incredibly fast and loud. Central Missouri has really been putting the thumb screws on. A 3-score lead with 90 seconds to go is far and away. It's 7 scores right now. We have more than all the scores in game 1 and 2 combined, and this isn't over with yet.
Off the sidewalk. Opportunity for Grim to put this one down, trying to get another one towards that net. Kaiju takes that one away and puts it in his own corner. Pass left wing side, it's Kaiju again. Looking for a dribble play, gets it past one but not past two. 1:04 to go in a 5-2 affair. Expired Sweat goes over one, gets it around two. Donkers and Grim, now your last man in front, and that'll bump back into the Albany end, but Donkers might be able to make this work into the mid. Dangerous ball, but it'll be back to midfield in fairly short order. Grim still there, trying to find the angle. Donkers comes in now, tries to find it as well. Rob East still keeping the ball in the Albany end, which is important to kill more time off that clock.
3 scores, 30 seconds, definitely possible. Don't see it happening, though. Really have to see a turn-up offense from University of Albany, and they've otherwise just spent a lot of time in the defensive third. That's going to be the last nail in the coffin, though, my friend.
It is indeed. Donkers puts us off the back, but Donkers not content with just putting it off the back. He's going to go and put Expired Sweat out of commission there on that save. A fairly easy save if he's not bumped, but in this case he was, and it makes it a 6-2 game, and that will likely seal things up for game number 3. That's important, though, to talk about, is that's going to put Central Missouri in a spot where they have Albany on match point and puts them one win away from the ECAC playoffs. Kaiju off the flick. Donkers makes contact. Back to mid we go for Grim. Expired Sweat takes that one away, and that is going to do it. Waiting on it to touch the ground. Expired Sweat trying to get one for the road. May have it. Kaiju was there. He scores. That'll make it a 6-3 game, but a little too late for them to make a stink at this game.
Yeah, agreed. No, just kind of one for the road. One to feel better about. That one. But man, oh man, 9 scores in this game. We saw 6 total in the previous games, 1 and 2, and a game that went in a little bit of overtime action as well. So 5 minutes versus 11 on the other side. And this last 5 minutes was much higher scoring, almost double digits here scored in game number 3. As this is going to be Central Missouri pulling away with a slight lead, right? Obviously, Game 4 can tie it back up, but if we go by points, this is a blowout here for Central Missouri.
Yeah, at least in this game. And now we have Game 4 where really the nice part for Albany is that you start out at zeros again. They don't get to take any goals from the last game and bring them into Game 4. So now is when you get a full reset if you're Albany. They're trying to extend the series to a decisive Game 5, which is exactly what they need to be able to move on. So this is Albany's biggest game of the season, and quite frankly, it's Central Missouri's biggest game of the season as well, as they are trying to put out Albany and make sure they take advantage of the opportunities in front of them.
Yep, exactly. Well, Curtis has mentioned it several times. It is the talk of the town. It's what everybody is talking about here, guys. Winner of Central Missouri and University of Albany will be going on, punching their ticket to the playoffs here. And the losing team, once again, will get a good clap on the back and a good season, guys. We'll see you on the next.
See you around next season.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly where that's at. So Albany and Central Missouri set to do battle for game number 4. And Central Missouri trying to put this series away. Just about to get back to action here as these teams are ready to go. Kickoff is next. 5 minutes on the clock, and we are underway once more. Rob East will give it up to Kaiju, and immediately a chance for Albany towards that net, handled fairly easily by Donkers. And here we go again. Sorry. Up his own back wall. Gets contact. Knocks it away from Donkers, but not very far. Kaiju has something to work with here, trying to put Expired Sweat in a spot where he can take advantage. That's right wing side. Kaiju trying to find the angle. That was close. Not going to happen. Turning back in and trying for the ball as Sard plays the possession game into the corner. That's what Albany seems to do really well, is keeping possession. When they do that well, they generate opportunities one after the other.
I definitely agree. And we'll see if the aesthetic changes, right? I think that's Grim there. Threw the old phase tag on. Okay. Kaiju as well. The car change here. We'll see if that has any effect coming into game number 4. Or, of course, if University of Albany ties this back up and we get some extra Rocket League after that. I'd love to see it. Overwatch after this one as well, guys. So be sure to stick around. Even if it does end right here, we'll get a little interview action with you guys, too. Go ahead, Garrett. Yeah. Take it away.
That'll work. This will be a play for Albany. Kaiju off the corner. Right wing side, great doink. Donker is going to work in the offensive end, trying to angle this towards the net. In is Grim. Grim finds the angle and scores, and Central Missouri at this point has enough goals to send them to the playoffs.
There you go. There you go. Grim gonna be utilizing that phase tag, right? Saw Grim put up a little bit of action earlier, but love seeing this player get involved early in game number 4.
3:44 to go. Kaiju off the nose. Pinch up against the rim. Grim puts us into the offensive end. Starts with the catch and release towards the sidewall. Plinko ball from Expired Sweat. Kaiju keeps it with him. Looks to jump off. Donkers takes it away, though. Has the flip reset. Second touchdown. Sweat reads it really well. Off the nose of Rob East. Rob East will work in the offensive side for Kaiju. Kaiju goes wall to wall, side to side with this. Trying to meet it. Not going to happen to Sweat. It goes back to Sard, who puts himself in a real awkward spot. That may set up Central Missouri on the other side, but Grim will defer and give them plenty of time to clear their lines.
And the lines, indeed, rotations are going to be so critical at this point. Now everybody purchasing a little bit extra time. A new lease on life right here, Curtis. Robbie is trying to cover this one up and does. University of Albany, the pressure continues. This one just given up to Kaiju after what was looking at a pretty solid offensive look for Central Missouri.
This is a dangerous ball. There's one thing that Albany's trying to do is they're trying to carry it into frame more than they are trying to use the backboard. Maybe a quick strike wouldn't be out of the cards for them if they can maybe try to change up the stratagem a little bit. Right wing or left wing side, out into the mid. Sard puts it up in the air, keeps it with him, tries the flick, didn't quite work, it didn't quite stay on top of him. Gets a pass out right wing to Expired Sweat. Hard off the send. Sard loses this chance. Central Missouri with an opportunity to put this one home. Off the ceiling and down. The Kaiju misses on the clear. Expired Sweat misses on the clear. Empty net to shoot at, and Donkers puts it home. Needed that after 2 missed opportunities to clear their lines.
Yeah, so 2 minutes left on in this one. Central Michigan, who is, of course, putting University of Albany on match point in this game 4, now purchase themselves a little bit of extra breathing room, right? A lead of 1 is nothing significant in the great game of Rocket League. A lead of 2 is the beginning of some breathing room.
At least some oxygen getting into the area for Central Missouri. They would be able to breathe a little bit easier if they make these playoffs. That's towards the net, and Kaiju finds it from the right side after some physical play on the goal line. It's 2-1.
Yeah, so just like that, all that breathing room that we talked about slowly evaporating.
102 seconds to go. 2-1 contest, Central Missouri. Up at the moment. Things getting tight. Kaiju up in the air. Sard trying to find a way out. Kaiju gets the bump. Sent back in by Rob East. That was close. That's one off the right bumper. Right there. Oh, what a stop. Grim tried to put that one in and just missed the opportunity to place it a little bit better. Rob East trying to punch his team's ticket. That goes far side and wide. 75 seconds to go in a 2-1 affair. Grim trying to work the back wall as well. Taken away, and Expired Sweat will get the touch along with Kaiju. Kaiju has an opportunity. He will defer down to Sard. Expired Sweat works his way into the middle. There's a Rule 1 in the corner. Neither one moving in an elimination game. That's keeping up the rhythm, keeping up the tradition. And back across midfield we go for Expired Sweat.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And across the middle, just like that, Albany tying this one back up. So a situation where Central Missouri can come forth and just bleed time out of this pig that's left in the time clock up top, right? Especially with the 1v1 or with the Rule 1 situation over on the left side. Like, that's just so much easier. But University of Albany realizes this very quickly, picks it up, now ties it up back to a 3-3, a 3 versus 3.
Top of the box. Grim goes long with this. Off the back wall, Expired Sweat flips it over him. Donkers into the middle. Deferring is Grim. Rob East will try to go for the ball. 30 seconds to go. Grim off the ceiling. Drops this down. Good catch and release. Rob East trying to get comfortable to go after this ball. He will. Off the ceiling again. That's a hard send from Sard. Right there is Donkers to take that opportunity away. 13 seconds left. We may be looking at one more overtime if things continue like this. Sard with the catch. Up the sidewall. Trying to keep it with him. Has Kaiju looking to put it on the back. Didn't quite get the contact needed. but now it's going to be a chance for Sard to turn back in if they can get it to him. Sard with contact. Keeps it up in the air. Needs a little bit of help from his friends. He'll find it and put up on Expired Sweat. Expired Sweat into the mid. Neither one can catch it. And we have OT in game 4.
OT game 2, OT game 4. We'd have it no other way. Once again, University of Albany takes this. They'll be pushing this onto a game numero 5, a game 5 in this best of 5. Central Missouri takes it. That's going to be them punching their tickets. 13 seconds into this one.
Donkers misses that opportunity. This will be off the top of Expired Sweat. Knocked away. Good play into the middle. Grimm misses the chance. They're looking for their playoff clincher. This is going to be Kaiju. Well above his own crossbar. Sent in by Kaiju, but not very far. Sard looks for Kaiju. Couldn't quite get it past Robbie's. Grimm trying to redirect. Robbie's lurking as well. Off the sidewall. Needs some help. Kaiju puts it down. Has Sard right there. Sard will miss on the opportunity to clear it away. Grimm falling on top of the ball will fly above it. And Expired Sweat will get it into the Central Missouri end once more as we've played a minute in OT.
Yes, 60 seconds into this one, no clear winner quite yet. Kaiju pop over, bounce this one across the middle. Sard tries something, and Robbie's just completely takes it away immediately. Both teams have had a couple different looks offensively, defensively, but that pinch play down bottom was everything.
Nearly fun there. Out to Donkers. Plays the sidewall. Has Robbie's lurking in the middle. They're going to carry it right to each other. The pinch is a good one. Not quite on target. Angled shot. Off the post. It's a chance for Donkers. He scores! And he punches Central Missouri's ticket into the ECAC playoffs.
There you go. 92 seconds into overtime, and Donkers secures it for the squad, for the culture. Expired Sweat and a teammate both got looks at this one. Not going to matter there at the end, though. Earned it all the way through. Earned it all the way through. University of Albany didn't put up more than 3 scores across this one. And I'm not saying this is for lack of trying or that the University of Albany gave it up by any means. But Central Missouri really just, especially in that game 3, a 6-3 barn burner there. Almost double-digit scores there, Curtis. It was everything in a bag of chips.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to see Central Missouri really get comfortable against Albany. They carried the majority of the offensive play in that overtime. And I dare say even in the regular game in game 4, they knew they were that close. They could sniff the finish line as far as this series goes and as far as their regular season goes, getting into the playoffs, and deservedly so. Very, very fun series to see and competitive all the way through, which is what we want.
Exactly and absolutely, Curtis. Exactly and absolutely. Still something that I think the University of Albany can take home with them. An even 4-4 record is not bad by any means, but like you said, not quite going to be enough to make it into that playoff contention.
No,
any last thoughts here? Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, at the same time, Albany was pretty good about being competitive in the top tier in ECAC. So that's definitely something they could take back with them as they look towards the next season to figure out what they want to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Looking at a little interview action coming up. We'll be back with you guys in just a second while we set that one up. And again, Overwatch after that, guys.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must've got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is.
And we are back. Yes, the little ECAC action continues now. Rocket League is done with, but we got Donkers to come on in, give us a minute of their time after the game. A little look inside that mind. Donkers, you with me?
Yeah, what's going on?
How we doing? How we doing? Congratulations on your victory, sir. Congratulations
Thank
on your
you.
victory. A 3-1 over Albany to punch that ticket right to the playoffs.
Oh yeah, we were excited about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So questions here. Just looking across the scorelines here, of course, you see Game 3 be a little bit different, scoreline-wise, from Games 1, 2, and 4. That was a 6-3 victory for Central Missouri. I want to ask you what was different about that game than these other 3?
Well, we have a bad habit. Usually our first couple of games, we take it a little slow. Maybe it's more of a feel-out phase, but, you know, just getting into that chat for that game, just saying, okay, we have to turn it on right here. We got to go. Got to pressure them. And once we get going with that, it all comes together. It just works.
Any sort of feeling? Do you feel in some type of way after you score the game-winning goal in your clincher to send your team to the playoffs?
Oh yeah, I yelled. Of course, like I mean, who wouldn't? Like, come on.
You're right.
Screams were screamed.
Yeah,
Screams
yeah,
were screamed.
definitely. We were all hyped. We were just so excited.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. You think what you run it all the way back for you against the University of Albany? You think you get the same scoreline, a 3-1 victory?
I'm saying 3-0. The first game was a little bit of a fluke. I feel like we were a little slow, but we got it back. So
very good, very good. The scoring output in Game 3 aside, everything was pretty competitive all the way through the other games that were on the docket. Did you guys have any doubt going into Game 4 that it was going to end in Game 4, or was it a matter of we're going to sit here and play our game, whatever happens happens?
we were feeling it. We think we knew that it was going to go down Game 4. We were so confident. We had the momentum. It felt like even in the games, even though it was a close score line, I feel like we had the momentum. It was in their field most of the half. We were really putting the pressure on them over and over again. We were just missing the crossbar, just missing nets. So I think it was going to end Game 4.
I like it. The confidence. Even with the fourth man top post showing up there for University of Albany. Once again, Donkers, congratulations on your 3-1 victory and that ticket getting punched on into that playoff situation. We are going to be looking at the Overwatch series up here next, but first, before we get you on out of here, I want to ask if you have any shout-outs from this previous matchup.
Shout out to my teammates, I guess. They come in clutch. That's about it. I don't know.
There you go. That has been Donkers here with the University of Central Missouri. Thank you again for a little bit of your time afterwards. FBI Tugboat and Curtis here. This has been a pretty close matchup, but that's going to be it for Rocket League. Looking at Overwatch next. Any closing thoughts before we get there, Curtis?
Bye week next week, so I'll miss ECAC until the playoffs start. But congrats to all of the teams that have made it top half of the Swiss group, able to get into what is essentially the second season. So congrats to everybody, and to everybody that didn't make it, better luck next time. A lot of fun to be had. ECAC spring, not over yet.
Absolutely. Stay tuned, guys. A little Overwatch action coming up next. Wichita State taking on another team there.
It's real big, coming into the ring with blows, that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' as kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' as kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar. I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar. I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up Counting the cards is real big. I gotta do it big. The only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine. Now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broken, I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
Good evening, you fine viewing audience out there. This is the final of the Swiss stages of the ECAC Overwatch tournament before we move on to the playoffs just in a week's time. And to bring you the last bit of this Swiss stage action is myself, Big Hungry Phil, and across the screen for me, divided by zero, dividing. Welcome to the broadcast. What have we got happening today?
We've got an exciting matchup between 2 playoff qualified organizations in Wichita State and the SUNY Polytechnic Wildcats. Both these teams currently sitting at 4-3 so far in the season, so both of them will be moving on to the playoffs next week, going into the next month. But they are still playing for seeding, they're playing for momentum, they're playing for confidence, and on the side of SUNY Polytechnic, they're kind of playing to kind of get their mojo back a little bit, as they haven't actually played in a few weeks. They are coming off of 2 forfeits, one by them, one by the other team. Some unfortunate situations, but we finally get to see this team play again and see how they are deserving of the playoff spot.
That's right. And whilst we don't know exactly the nature of those forfeits, what it does put us in is a slightly strange situation where we have 2 4-3 teams with a 4-4 scoreline required to proceed into the playoffs. And as far as we can tell, Wichita State completely earned all of those. That's all matches they played, all matches they were present for. With 2 forfeits in your match history, it makes it difficult for us to predict exactly what your strength is as a team. And as you say, they're playing to prove that they have the strength to be in playoffs. They'll get there anyway, but this is a good litmus test of what playoffs is going to look like for these guys. And whilst it has been a little while since we've actually seen the Wildcats on stream, for Wichita State, they were here this time last week in our stream game, so we actually have a little bit of game footage on these guys.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them in that game, they ended up losing 3-0 to Johnson and Wales, who honestly really took advantage of some, I don't know if odd is the way that I want to describe it, but some slightly unorthodox composition choices that Wichita State decided to take, whether it was playing Torbjorn in a brawl or Widowmaker in a dive. It feels like Wichita State are the kind of team that likes to say, hey, it's fine. We don't have to play exactly what's meta. We're going to play what is more comfortable for our players instead, which is an absolutely fine philosophy, but there is, the meta is the meta for a reason at some point, and when you go off that script, there is weaknesses in those compositions that can be exploited, and Johnson and Wales definitely exploited them last week.
I think it's an ongoing I guess it's a feature rather than a bug of this sort of grassroots tournament, is that you do have teams that have, an entire top 500 lineup, but you also have teams that are just made up of the people who are there on campus who like to play the game and have a range of skill levels. And that could mean that you have hit scan players that maybe they can play Cassidy and Ash, they can't play the Widow, or vice versa, as we maybe saw from the team as they were on stream last week. It's not always a detriment. They will be against other teams that have that same feature in their makeup. But when you run into a team that is notably stronger, that can flex every player onto every role in that category of hero, then you are going to find yourself picked apart. And it's not to say that there weren't some bright moments from Wichita last week. Hanbei in particular, I think, a very spirited performance on both the Widowmaker and the Torbjorn is just not enough to carry them over the edge here. But I do think this week's matchup, given that it's an even scoreline, even discussing the forfeits that we discussed previously for the Wildcats, we should actually see a bit of a step up in confidence and competence here from Wichita State.
Yeah, and we've been kind of bashing on Wichita State a little bit. I don't want to make it seem like this isn't a strong team. Wichita State are a solid university. They have made deep runs into the ECAC playoffs before. They definitely have the potential to do so again. It's just that the competition in ECAC has gotten all the stronger with teams like SCAD, teams like Bethel coming in this semester that have absolutely been killing it. I am just really interested to see how Wichita State, as we go into those decisive playoff matches, if they can stand up to them. I know that they have the potential, but do they have the confidence and the belief of themselves to actually bring them that extra step?
I think one of the big questions I have here, and you'll have to forgive me because if the accent hasn't given it away, I'm a transplant here. I may be based over in Maryland in the States, but I'm originally from the UK, so I don't know an awful lot about this country. But I was under the impression that Wichita was not a state. Can you explain to me how we've got a Wichita State University, or is that a question for another time?
So my understanding is
Should I be taking notes? Shall I?
My understanding is Wichita was already taken. So
right.
They wanted to be Wichita, but there was already another school called Wichita, so they were like, Wichita State, and they just stamped that on there, and they're like,
gotcha.
See, it's totally different. And that's my understanding of it.
Well, look, you see what you've done here is you've given me a sensible answer to a question that I was expecting to be laughed off, and it means that I can probably get away with asking you some dumber things again in future.
Wait.
So we can have to talk about where babies come from maybe when we're off camera.
That is not a stream question, Phil.
Well, it depends the language you use to discuss that. But anyway, you're saved by the bell on we are about to go live in the game. Match starting on a control map, and we are starting out on Lijiang Tower.
That Lijiang skyline, you can't mistake it anywhere else. One of the more iconic sites in Overwatch. Genuinely beautiful, one of my own stream backgrounds because I love it so much. And we are starting off on Control Center, the sort of up in your face brawl map because it is so closed in. You've got the narrow hallways, you've got the sort of closed in ceiling. So TW877 and Icy Hells are both going to be locking in that Reinhardt immediately. They're going to be getting right up into each other's faces, and actually, if my eye sense deceives me, these are two mirror compositions here. So which team is going to be a little bit faster with this teleporter, with this Lucio speed boost? The team that's able to take more space at the start generally has the upper hand.
Okay, well, bit of space here being taken by SUNY Poly Wildcats, and we're just looking for that first frag, really. That's going to be the thing that dictates the way in which this fight goes, but we see SUNY Poly Wildcats make a rotation back to the point. Wichita State matching them for now, fairly slow so far, and it's ring around the rosies for the Reinhardt around that center point. TW877 takes a bit of a beating, backs off. Icy Hell's lower for now, which means Wichita State able to take a bit more of an aggressive positioning as SUNY Poly are backed away from the point. They try and tag on to keep this contested, but Wichita State take up too much space, force them away. Now they've got to contend with that amplification matrix, but as the matrix goes up, Icy Hells goes down. And Promise is throwing a lot at this, trying to make this work. That's that photon barrier up. Will make it a little bit harder for Wichita State to find some grounding here. But nobody's really winning this just yet. Although as the words come out of my mouth, we lose a main tank, we lose an off tank, and the Symmetra on the side of SUNY Poly is down as well. Didn't even get that name. Fluffy Budley with the Riptire will find Icy Hells, and finally the fight ends. That's a solid 30% capped in one fight.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing in that fight is that Wichita State actually, in the middle of it, managed to capture the point. But SUNY Poly, they were trying to fight for the point that entire time, and if they had stayed on it that whole time, Wichita State would be starting the percentage right now. Instead, by giving it up at the beginning of that last fight, now they're fighting against 50% already brought up for Wichita.
Okay, Pop Punk coming around the side with a Riptire. So fortunately, it was more than he bargained for, as the tire will be destroyed by Fluffy Budley. So with that ultimate out of the way and the application matrix up here from Hanbei, we'll see some aggression come through from Wichita State. They look to try and bully SUNY Poly off the points. Shattered down to the bomb in over the top, and Damply finds 3, and it is clean-up time now for Wichita State. SUNY Poly find themselves there in the business end of a last fight territory on Control Center.
Yeah, this is not going well for SUNY Poly to start off this series, but there is some silver lining here. Even though they are in last fight territory, Wichita did use a lot of resources there to hold on to the point. SUNY Poly, they're going to be coming in with the Shatter. They're going to be coming in with the Amp Matrix as well as the Diva Bomb. Promise is pretty close to that Photon Barrier as well. They have lots of tools to be able to get themselves into this. You can't be losing Pop Punk early. That's so much of your damage.
Yeah, and now they've got to contend with the sound barrier as well, and we didn't even get a chance to see it on stream. Fluffy Budley in with the Riptire, finds the 3K, gets the 4th, hunting for the 5th. There's nobody left standing here from SUNY Poly. Wichita State take the 100-0 on Control Center.
Oh man, Wichita State, they just took the advantage early and they never let it go. Beautiful stuff from Fluffy but Deadly, taking a little bit of an off angle on the Junkrat there. Took Pop Punk off guard, and when you take someone off guard on Junkrat, you have those combos that are able to delete those 200 health characters almost instantly. And that is what gave Wichita State the advantage that not even 4 ultimates could overcome. So now we move on to, looks like, Night Market, which is where we're going to see SUNY Poly go with something a little bit different here. Both teams are sticking with the same general brawl composition, but Pop Punk is going to be moving over to the Reaper, going for some more consistent up-close damage. Fluffy but Deadly staying on the Junkrat.
TP in over the top, and Fluffy but Deadly plays it to perfection, lands the conk, takes out both supports, and Wichita State move forward unopposed towards SUNY Poly's spawn. Perhaps point hasn't even unlocked yet, so they're happy to win this one, back out and cap it as it does. That was pixel perfect from Fluffy but Deadly.
Yeah, it does not get much better there as a Junkrat player, just throwing in a mine onto the Symmetra, teleport, taking out both supports, and that's going to force a bunch of changes here from SUNY Poly. But I do like these changes here. Pop Punk and Malotio, they're going to go to a From Mercy. You look at Wichita State's composition, they don't really have a long-range DPS that can fully counter this Pharah. A player can get kind of high up there with the Symmetra beam. Dansley can fly up there, but really Pop Punk is going to have some big opportunities to poke in this damage from the back.
Yeah, just keep an eye on that ult charge. It's already at 50%. Halfway into the fight, Pop Punk has to back away a little bit there as Dampy chases them up into the skybox. But this barrage is going to be online before you know it here from Pop Punk, which is... Oh, okay. Well, won't have the mercy to help with that one. And Fluffy but Deadly putting up even more numbers here on the Riptire play.
And this is just what a really good Junkrat does for you. It has absolutely... I don't think Fluffy but Deadly was expecting the trap to land up there. But that's just... This really good Junkrat has completely taken over the game right now. And even with heroes that have been sort of designed to try and mitigate his effectiveness, you can see how much impact this Junkrat is having on the game right now. And now Wichita State, 65% and counting, and they have both tank ultimates and the beat coming up soon. Because Fluffy but Deadly has been doing so much, they haven't even really needed to use their ults yet.
And if you're looking at SUNY Poly, yes, you've got the barrage, but really you want that nano to go with it. And Opilex is still a little way from that, and they are running out of time here. It's 80% for Wichita State. Self-destruct on the point. Pop Punk will find 2. Self-destruct and some hammer action from TW877 make that an equal trade. 1, and an instant res while Fluffy but Deadly gets taken out. Sorry, takes out Pop Punk, and SUNY Poly looking like they might secure the flip here. It's taken them all the way to 100 to get this over, and they're having to send with a lot of ultimates on the back end of this. TW877 back in, lands the Fire Strike, takes out Malokio, but I think SUNY Poly have done the damage here, and for Wichita State, it's all about trying to flush out some resource before the reset.
That was finally what you wanted to see from the Fire Swap here from Pop Punk, taking over that fight with the spam damage and the rockets. And even with that, I mean, Wichita State very nearly came back in this one, likely because they took a lot of ultimates, but also just because they're able to output so much damage, and Fluffy But Deadly has another Riptire available coming up in this fight.
They are down one player already, so if Fluffy But Deadly is going to put in the tire here, it needs to do some work, but it doesn't need to be. Handbase doing the work here, takes out the Pharmacy, and now it is open season for the Riptire here from Fluffy But Deadly. Waits out the self-destruct, actually finds both the Pilot Form Diva and the Tracer, the two smallest characters in the game, down to the Riptire, and Wichita State looking in a good position here to get the recap, and they're at 99%, so SUNY Poly needs to mount a defense and need to mount it now. Up into the skybox goes Fluffy But Deadly, down to the floor goes Pop Punk, and this has just been an absolute J-Crat level masterclass from Fluffy But Deadly.
I don't think there has been a single Riptire from Fluffy But Deadly that hasn't gotten at least 2. It has been a Junkrat masterclass, as you said, a Junkrat takeover. As Wichita State, they take over Lijiang Tower 2-0. I also want to, on that last fight, I do want to give a little bit of a shout out to the support line of Wichita. Because they played extremely well going into that last fight. I ought to get a shout out to Hanbei on the Baptiste that actually took out the opposing Pharah with just the Baptiste primary fire. It can be very deadly if you know how to use it correctly. And Trasher Lin used the beat to perfection, and the rest of the team was ready once that beat came in to just roll in with this Lucio speed boost and just run over the squishier members of SUNY Poly. The support line absolutely showed up in that last fight, but the story of this map was absolutely the Junkrat of Fluffy But Deadly just taking over. I really want to say there was maybe like 12 Riptire kills in those 2 rounds. Easily. It was nuts.
Yeah, just to bundle those 2 points together, you can have a really solid showing as a support player and just get completely overshadowed because you're not in the kill feed in the same way that Fluffy But Deadly was. And so, yeah, we spent all of that going, oh my god, insane Riptires of Fluffy But Deadly. But you're quite right, that was a very, very strong performance. Clearly well-planned, well-executed stuff coming out from everybody here on Wichita State. But thinking on SUNY Poly Wildcats, whilst there were some good adaptations here, it just seemed like they didn't have the same level of game plan as Wichita State. Like they were coming into this just trying to find something that worked, whereas whereas Wichita came in knowing what was going to work.
Yeah, it was tough. It's tough to start off on the back foot like SUNY Poly did. Wichita pretty much played whatever they wanted throughout this entire map, and it just kind of worked on the first try. And SUNY Poly were just kind of left scrambling to try and figure out what they did. I liked the thought process behind the SUNY Poly comp swaps. I think the Pharmercy was a good pick. I think the Ana was a good pick. I saw some pretty good anti-nades coming out from that Ana. I saw a couple sleeps as well, so it's not like those swaps didn't have value. I think Pop Punk got a lot of value off on that Pharah. I mean, the issue was when they swapped that composition, they played very, very spread out. Yeah. And once you did that and you didn't put enough pressure onto the Junkrat of Fluffy But Deadly, and of course the supports that were constantly keeping him alive, he was just able to run around the map, jetpack blasting all over the place and picking off the squishier spread out members of SUNY Poly before they could try and get to any supports. So it was just tough from SUNY Poly, even when I think they made the right decision on their compositions. It just didn't end up working out for them.
I think if you look at teams that have successfully run a Pharah composition, particularly Pharah ball compositions, and we're thinking about over in EMEA Contenders, the Pharah and the Wrecking Ball in particular have to be working in absolute lockstep to take out whatever DPS threats are threatening either the backline or the Pharah themselves to allow them to carry. The problem is there was no specific counter outside of the Diva that they could focus on to put themselves into that 5v6 advantage situation. And so it needed, again, more focus and more communication and planning. Like, we are going to target this character with a rocket and a power driver, and that's them deleted, and we just sweep the rest away. Hopefully we see them, having had this warm-up map, let's charitably call it a warm-up map, come into this looking a little more focused on the next one. And we are already at the next one, straight into the map. We are in Junkertown, which I think it's been a little while since I've had a chance to cast a game of Junkertown, if I'm honest.
Yeah, this is a very interesting map that I believe Wichita State, SUNY Poly got to pick as the loser of the last map. Is Promise a sub in here for SUNY Poly? I feel like that's a new name. It might be a Widowmaker specialist that SUNY Poly have put in.
Possibly.
If they were in last match.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? I don't care. Widow specialist.
Oh,
Widow
wow.
Specialist. Oh, my goodness.
This is why they've picked this map. This is the double sniper map. Unfortunately, we'll go down to TW877, but the damage has been done. No res is available here. That's a big hole punch in the defense, and now they can start to take a little more space. Wichita State currently setting up a pincer movement here. It's TW877 into the back alongside the tracer of player, but TW877 takes a lot of damage and has to back out. That was not a successful engage for them, and player eventually falls to the storm arrows of Pop Punk. This is suddenly a lot better from SUNY Poly Wildcats.
Yeah, and you just see how much space Promise has been able to buy for their team here. Just a couple of shots, and my goodness! This Widow cannot miss on the Hanbei. Does go down the Fluffy but Deadly, who has gone a Widowmaker on the other side, and this wow. This is what Junkertown does. It gives these Widowmakers such long sightlines, such open sightlines, and it just lets these sniper characters go wild.
Yeah, of course, one sniper down, but the Hanzo still on the field here from Pop Punk. Lands the shot and takes Fluffy but Deadly down, does the damage, and Alex finds the kill onto player. So Wichita State starting to crumble here on the defense. They can stall out for a little while longer, but they are really looking for some heavy, high-impact frags coming through pretty quickly. That's the Dragons out from Pop Punk, buys some space, doesn't find the kills, but it does flush people out into the line of fire of Promise. Deadly is back and ready to take names in a similar fashion here. Dribbling onto the right-hand side, looking to land this headshot onto the retreating Baptiste of Upilax. Can't land it, and Wichita State look like they may start to stabilize here.
It's gonna be tough. It's just the tanks on the point right now, and the rest of SUNY Poly are coming back. They do have the slight spawn advantage right now in the position that the cart is in, and they also have so many ultimates coming up just in a moment.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. They lose both Hanbei and player here, and the sustain of the punch power diminished significantly here, but what is left of Wichita State doing a great job of burning a little bit more time off the clock. They're not afraid to throw bodies, HP, and resources at that one to keep it going. SUNY Poly Wildcats will cap here, and they move into point B with 4 minutes on the clock.
And I really like the restraint from SUNY Poly there. It would have been very easy for them to just panic and use some of their ultimates to secure the point, but all they used was the walls from Promise. So now SUNY Poly, they're going to have all 5 of their other ultimates available to start pushing on the B.
Okay, that's going to be the infra site from Fluffy but Deadly, allowing player to get the pick on to Promise and put them into the 5v6. Wichita State still playing defensively on the high ground. I will actually send the Diva down there with a bit of help from Hanbei to take Pop Punk out of the equation. And Wichita State start to leverage this high ground control and the good defensive posturing to land a hold here. They're going to lose Hanbei in the exchange, but by the time SUNY Poly are back, they should be back at full strength.
Interestingly, Promise has swapped onto the Cassidy now. It does make some sense, especially with how Wichita State have really kind of taken over the B-point high grounds at the moment. But now Fluffy but Deadly doesn't have a direct counter on the Widowmaker duels. You have a Hanzo and a Cassidy, both of which can kind of contest the Widowmaker, but it's going to be a lot more difficult. You see now how SUNY Poly, they have to take this back roads around the high ground to try and avoid that Widowmaker as much as possible.
Oh my absolute days! Here was me looking for that Transcendence to counteract the grab, and no, it was just a big fat go button. In comes the pulse bomb. Down goes SUNY Poly Wildcats.
Phil, I can't remember the last time I've seen a 5-man pulse bomb. Like, in the age of immortality fields, that barely ever happens, but my goodness. Player just pulled off possibly the play of the series, and we're still kind of early into it, but oh my goodness, that was actually nuts. And Wichita, you can see SUNY Poly have just kind of been brought to a standstill trying to regroup after that. They still have a lot of ultimates available to them, but they just have to reset mentally. You have both tank ultimates, you have the Ant Matrix and the Dragon Strike available to you to try and push onto this, but the cart has barely gotten any progress on the B.
This is twice in a row now that Promise has died care of Hanbei. And what it's allowing Hanbei to do is get right up close to getting another Transcendence online, and Crate Jesus still has not used this ultimate. However, SUNY Poly start to find a bit of an advantage here. They take Damply out of the mech. They need to find that kill before the mech can come back into play. Player hit by a stun there that was promised with a flashbang, and player goes down. So Wichita State now back on the back foot here. So SUNY Poly going to start to take some space and start to throw in these ultimates. They have now committed the Supercharger. They've still got, in fact, there it goes. That's the Gravitic Flux online. Hanbei did get the Transcendence out. I don't know that it was enough to keep everybody alive. They find 2 picks on the back end of that fight, including one with a minefield, which finally come out from TW877. Damply's back with the self-destruct, and it's down to player just to try and, like, ever so slightly tap the brakes on this car.
Yeah, but Crate Jesus is in a lot of trouble here from the top, and Fluffy but Deadly and player. They're going to combine to take him down, and now here comes Wichita State flooding back onto the point, overwhelming the remaining members of SUNY Poly. It just wasn't quite enough for them to be able to sustain. It is just one member of SUNY Poly that is getting point push
getting
right
back
now.
capped. Yeah, this is a lot of progress, and it took Wichita State a long time to go in and stop that happening. They've come out of this with a couple of balls to play with, and crucially, they've got the rally here from Trashalin, and she's got to be using that to pretty much stop SUNY Poly on their roll through. They need to find big picks here. Really, the Amp Matrix and this Dragon are going to be key for SUNY Poly making this push.
Yeah, going to be absolutely key, but on the other side, Wichita State, they do have the 2 great ultimates to try and kind of dissuade that. The zoning from Damply and the rally from Trashalin. Hanbei coming up very closely to that Transcendence as well.
Not going to need it. 2 down already from player. Malochio pops into Transcendence of their own, tries to play Minesweeper, but it's a little bit too late, and they got bigger problems than just the minefield. As the self-destruct comes through and takes Icy Hells off of it, I'm pretty sure that's as far as this barrel of treasure is going. On Junkertown, that's the offense over for SUNY Poly. Let's see how they fare on the defense.
Yeah, definitely not the worst offense in the world from SUNY Poly. Was able to get to the end of point A off the back of some fantastic Widowmaker play from Promise, but it seemed like as soon as Promise ended up swapping off of that Widowmaker, a lot of SUNY Poly, they just kind of lost steam. They couldn't quite a closed distance between them and Wichita State before losing one or even multiple members. They held on to ultimates for really long because they were waiting for that 6v6 fight, but they just didn't get it until there was only about a minute left on the clock. And at that point, Wichita State, they'd built up a bunch of ultimates of their own. So a little bit unfortunate. It was a very promising start to Junkertown, ends up sort of petering out, but there's still plenty of opportunities here for SUNY Poly to get themselves a fuller hold and get themselves a series tying win, especially since I don't see why Promise wouldn't be on Widowmaker this whole defense.
No, it makes a lot more sense. I understand the swap onto the Cassidy, particularly when you've got a Trace and a Wrecking Ball running through the team the entire time. You want to shut that down. But it left Fluffy but Deadly pretty much uncontested, and like opening frag was either from Hanbei or Fluffy but Deadly most of that time. And we actually touched on this composition that Wichita State are running before the broadcast, saying it's a little bit weird the way they're using a Widowmaker in this sort of Wrecking Ball dive, but it definitely worked for them here.
Yeah, works out incredibly well. I mean, if you're going to run it anywhere, Junkertown is a fantastic place to do so. And now we see this is an interesting shift. Both teams have been going in onto the double shield this time around instead of the ball compositions, trying to play a little more passively, get their DPS set up behind these shields to try and pick off the opponents.
Oh, well, speaking of picking off the opponents, Hanbei finds that opposite number, and Super Deadly and Player just synchronize beautifully and take Promise back to the Promised Land. Trashalin, sorry, traded out their care of Pop Punk, but Hanbei is a force to be reckoned with here, and if you are SUNY Poly, you do not want to get in range of those orbs.
Absolutely not. Hanbei already 73% to the Transcendence. Look at Milicio on the other side, 50% behind. The Zenyatta has done so much in that first fight. That and Player getting around to the side, creating a sort of two-pronged attack. Yeah, no touch at all for Wichita State, which means, I mean, Player goes down, but you're not sweating if you're Wichita State. You've got 5 minutes and 16 seconds to get this across the finish line. You're feeling fantastic.
Yeah, a full 1 minute 15 quicker than we saw SUNY Poly on their offense. And Wichita State not looking particularly likely to slow their roll anytime soon, as Hanbei and Damplay and Trashalin actually take an off angle here on the right-hand side to look to try and take over the high ground. They're keeping TU-87-7 on cart just to get some progress, and the rest of the team are just causing absolute mayhem here for SUNY Poly. They don't know which direction to look, and the cart is already more than halfway to where it needs to get.
Yeah, at this point, Wichita State won a more really good fight win would basically be curtains on this fight, and there's a support line for Wichita State. They were kind of the unsung heroes last time around, but Trashalin and Hanbei are the stars of the show, picking up 3 kills between them. And SUNY Poly, they have to rush to get back to the point in time.
I don't know if they can even make it. Pop Punk needs to get something pretty miraculous done here with this Dragon Strike. I expect that to come out early, and even the Dragons can't make it in time. And those guys phase through walls. That was blisteringly fast here from Wichita State.
Once again, it just seemed like when Wichita State got the momentum, they just could not let it go. Oh my gosh, let's see. I want to see this pulse bomb from Player's perspective. Gets around to the back.
The fadeaway. Love to see it. And that's really unfortunate. I think that's actually a really good instinct there from Milicio to try and trans through some of that, but ultimately it just staggered them out and nobody survived through that. It's such a shame.
Yeah. A lot of healing is done by Transcendence. Unfortunately, if you take 300 damage at once, there's not too much you can do about that one. So, beautiful play from Player, but beautiful play overall from Wichita State. I was very, very impressed, especially considering how different they had to play on Junkertown compared to Lijiang Tower. On Lijiang, they played mostly the Reinhardt-based Brawl compositions. This time around, they played Wrecking Ball compositions, they played Double Shield compositions, and they were just as explosive as they were on the last map. I mean, at this point, if I'm SUNY Poly, I have 3... I'm got my back against the wall, you're down 2-0, you're thinking, how the heck do I beat these guys?
And I think the plan here from SUNY Poly was actually pretty sensible. They knew that they had a good sniper in the form of Promise, like a very explosive start to that map from Promise, getting an early 2 picks before getting pounced by the Wrecking Ball. And that, I think, is a lot of why they got as much early progress as they did. And so, like, clearly they know what to map pick for their benefit here. It's just unfortunate that they're picking into a team that can match them and surpass them step for step in that regard. So if you're SUNY Poly, you're going to be looking for more of those advantages. You're going to be looking for another map where what you think you can run works and what you think your opponent's going to run doesn't work. I do think there might not be a map like that in the map pool here for this particular matchup.
It's going to be tough, but SUNY Poly, they're going to have a few minutes here to try and figure out their best plan of action moving forward. They're going to have map pick again when we come back from the break, so don't go anywhere. The conclusion of the final Swiss bracket matchup of the ECAC Spring 2022 season will be coming after this.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids, and for their kids, it's kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a sore, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids, and for their kids, it's kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
We're staring down the barrel of one of our earliest ever finishes here on ECAC as Wichita State continue a blistering pace through the first 2 maps and look to continue that as we move on to our control map for the evening, which will be Hanamura.
Yeah, really interesting map pick here from SUNY Poly. I think at this point you're just thinking, just play the map that you're the most comfortable with and see if you can get something done here with that comfortability. At this point, Wichita, they have beat you on just about every composition there is, so hopefully something about the assault map, the defensive kind of play style, will really play to SUNY Poly's advantage here.
What we have seen, particularly in earlier ECAC matches this season, is situations where Hanamura in particular, I think, plays into some of the things that SUNY are looking to do here. More specifically, I'm thinking about Pop Punk on the Farah. We saw what an impact the Farah had on Lijiang Tower. And as a defensive option here for Hanamura A, it makes an awful lot of sense. And if you're not ready to counter that and you don't know what the right adaptation is, it can work out to be a very, very difficult style to break.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with the limited space that any potential hit scans would have on the other side. Of course, SUNY Poly, they are going to be starting off on the attack this time around, so the Farah won't be quite as effective here. But Fluffy but Deadly, they're going to be going on to a Farah of their own, with Sparky moving on to the Mercy, who I believe is a sub in here
New
for
sub in,
Wichita.
Yeah, Trashalin out, having put up a very good performance over the past couple maps. Sparky in. We're going to take a stab in the dark and say, here's Sparky, our Mercy specialist for this map. Let's see how that works out. But like tank line-wise, I would shudder if I saw this in my ranked games.
Yeah, this is just the... I don't know if I want to say the we're having fun composition, because it's not necessarily true. There is a lot that you can do with the Wrecking Ball Roadhog combo, the pile driver to hook combo comes to mind. But, I mean, there's no shields, there's no real sustainability. Player and they are sort of on their own here.
Man, that was very unfortunate. TP up to the right-hand high ground, and the coach gun from player displaces SUNY Poly, and they're not able to get in and capitalize on that free space take. In fact, they go down in droves. However, they're able to find Hanbei on the way through here, but given the HP pools they've got to deplete to get this capped, it's looking pretty tricky. And now that you don't have the mech from the Diva, it's looking borderline impossible here. Down goes Icy Hells, and a good try, almost a third got there by SUNY Poly.
Yeah, but they don't get anything there, and SUNY Poly, this is going to be this sort of question, as long as they stay on this style of composition that likes to stay together, likes to be close. Can this core of their composition stay together long enough for them to get onto point as a unit? And as I am saying that and making that point, SUNY Poly swap completely off onto to try and kind of mirror Wichita State at their own game. Now they're going to have a Wrecking Ball. They're going to have an airborne DPS Pop Punk on the Echo this time around instead of the Far, interestingly. But with all these swaps also comes a resetting of the ult charges. So you're going to need at least one more fight to be able to match the barrage coming up from Fluffy but Deadly. Sparky's coming up to that Valkyrie, and I mean, TW877, Dantley player, they could be coming up to those ultimates as well with a couple good fights.
And of course, they don't have a direct counter to the Pharah. Yes, they've got the Diva. We've seen how good that can be for buying space from the Pharah, but there's no long-range hit scan threat here. So, Fluffy but Deadly kind of has the skies of themselves here, unless Pop Punk can step up. And that's unfortunate here from Pop Punk. Down to the Roadhog, scrap gun fire. Definitely with both the Take a Breather and the hook left. Down goes Upilex, down goes Promise, and that's got to be the reset here from SUNY Poly. But they will come out of this with a little more ult charge in the bank, ready for the next fight.
Yeah, now Craig Jesus is going to have the Diva Bomb to help SUNY Poly engage onto this point. The Pulse Bomb coming up as well. But Wichita State didn't use anything in that fight. They didn't have to, because they just won the neutral scraps engaging. And so now they're going to have all 6 potential ultimates. At this point, this is becoming a dream for Wichita State, because SUNY Poly, they're running out of time.
It's a loaded revolver here from Wichita State, and they find one bullet connecting already as the barrage comes through and takes both supports off the table here for SUNY Poly. Self-destruct will take player out of the game momentarily, but the res is there, and player will have the bob to throw into this fight should that be required. But as what's left of SUNY Poly crumbles, we get to see them hold on to the bob for one more fight.
I'm sorry.
Off you go.
Dantley has just been fragging out on this Roadhog. Yeah. I have to say it. This Roadhog has gotten multiple kills in just about every fight. Has been actually, you know, kind of seemed like a joke pick at first, but has absolutely been making it work. The hook accuracy has been fantastic. The overall damage with a scrap gun, you need to space out your scrap gun very well in order to get the maximum damage out of it, and it's been doing fantastic. 35 seconds less. This is SUNY Poly's last really good shot at the fight, and they don't have any ultimates, and they've lost to Zenyatta. They don't have time. They've got to try and make something work here.
They need a fragger that they didn't now. What they really need is for Pop Punk to do enough damage to get this duplicate online and find something with it, but they've already lost Icy Hells. Luckily, that's only the Wrecking Ball. The Wrecking Ball will be back fairly quickly, and Pop Punk has survived and now has the duplicate. It all rests on this ultimate for SUNY Poly.
Yeah, all comes down to Pop Punk here. What will you try and duplicate here? It is going to be the Roadhog. You have to take a breather to try and get some damage back. That's pretty much going to get you to that whole hog, but you've been spaced out by Dantley, who used the whole hog first, takes you out of the duplicate, just hooks you out of the air and takes you out of the fight.
That's
Wichita State. They have full held on Hanamura.
It was so close to an opening tick cap there as well for SUNY Poly on that first attack with the Symmetra. But SUNY Poly just played so many different angles. There was nobody really for Wichita State to close in on and take out. And SUNY Poly just seemed lost as to how to deal with this big cauldron of damage that Wichita State set up.
Yeah, it's so difficult because Wichita State are playing a fairly individualistic style of play. You just kind of had Fluffy but Deadly in the skies, just kind of doing whatever they wanted. You had Hanbei just fragging out in the back on Zenyatta. You had Dantley just walking around, having a merry old time on Roadhog, just going, up, hook for you, hook for you, one shot for you, just doing whatever the heck they wanted, and TW877 causing havoc with the Wrecking Ball. If you're SUNY Poly, it's just like, who do you focus on? What do you do first? And the answer is, you can't really focus on anyone at once, because then the rest of the team is just going to focus in on you. You just have to try and split up and win those scrappy 1v1 duels, and SUNY Poly could just never get any of them to go their way. So now they are forced to try and full hold here to try and extend this series for at least another map. And they are going to do a double shield composition to do it. Pop Punk on that Ashe, another sniper character that could potentially get them those one shots. But I see Wichita State with the symmetric
straight
teleporter.
Through, straight on, wall up, no chance to contest. They will find Hanbei on the way through here, but Wichita State now have the defensive position. Promise down to no HP has to back out, but that is a very important opening frag. But look how close this ticker is. A couple more kills here from Wichita State, and that's going to be them taking hold of this entirely. Promise scrabbling for purchase here, can't find it. They tag off the point. And Wichita State, with the Cheese Comp Classic on Hanamura, TP their way into a full sweep in the last week of the Swiss of ECAC.
And it was just the pressure from Wichita State. That was what SUNY Poly wanted to do on their first attack. They couldn't quite get it to work, but Wichita State pulled it off perfectly, just teleporting onto the point. Even though you lose your Baptiste early, you stay together, you don't panic, you keep as a unit, and you put so much pressure onto the opposing tanks that you force them to back up onto the point for just long enough to get that tick to go in your favor. Wichita State, I mean, this was absolutely their revenge for getting 3-0'd on stream this time last week. My goodness, if you don't think that they could do some damage in the playoffs, I don't know what to tell you. This game proved otherwise.
I think it probably is worth, now that we're at the end of the broadcast, touching on the fact that last week things were a little bit swapped around. Last week, Hanbei was playing DPS rather than support, and you got to wonder, like, was somebody absent? Did they have to make some quick swaps so they had a full roster to present, which would explain why this was such a different caliber of team here today? I guess we can figure that out when we talk to a player from Wichita State University in the post-game interview that's going to be coming at you in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere, because the answers to that and more will be coming right up.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids, and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother, soon as he out to finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar. I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore. Just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids. It's kids, that's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid. We finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big. Jobs, that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big. The only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big. Foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids. It's kids, that's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid. We finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big. Jobs, that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big. The only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way.
Welcome back, everybody. Here we are with the final portion of today's broadcast, and from Wichita State, we are being joined by Dampley, off-tank player for the team. Dampley, welcome back. Congrats on the win and on that blistering Roadhog performance. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Glad to hear it. Now, for my first question, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the sort of roster swaps we saw from Wichita State today. Last week when you were on stream, you had Hanbei on DPS and Fluffy but Deadly on tank, I believe. But today you swapped Fluffy but Deadly to tank and Hanbei on DPS. Can you take me through why those swaps were made?
Oh, wait, so this week last week I think it was Hanbei on DPS and Fluffy was on tank. That was because we were actually missing players. And so this week we had our full roster here. That's why you have Hanbei on support with Trash, Player and Fluffy on DPS, and then me and TW on tank. Because last week TW wasn't there.
Wait, I'm sorry. Okay. What was the name of your main tank?
TW 877.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
You
a fun
said-
one to say on broadcast.
That was a fun one. I thought maybe you had some secret, like, this is how you say it in one syllable, but no, okay.
No, just TW.
Cool.
Okay, so looking back at the at last week's game and the suboptimal roster, do you think that would have gone the other way if you'd had your full roster, or would that still have been the 3-0 that it was last week?
I think we would have done a lot better, but because like last week, you know, most of like Fluffy, he used to be a tank player, but he doesn't play tank with us now. He's like just our DPS player, so he hasn't played tank in a couple of months now, and so it was just kind of a mess, but it was all good.
Okay,
I think we've done a lot better.
Clearly.
Yeah, worked out extremely well, and I want to try and zoom in on what was the most explosive moment of the match, which was players' 5K Tracer post bomb on Junkertown. I just really want to hear from a perspective of a player on Wichita State how that fight sort of unfolded from your comms, from the setup to player getting around the back to the fallout of the explosion.
So what happened was Hanbei had gotten picked the fight before, and so he's coming back from spawn, and so we're like, let's just go sit up high ground. And then TW had mine, so what we were gonna do originally was we were just gonna mine if they came out main. But then Hanbei saw them coming when he came back from, saw them going bottom, and so we all called they're going bottom. So we're just gonna go dive on them, and we're gonna just we're gonna trank in, and we're just gonna fight there. And then players saw the opportunity to throw the bomb. And we've already pushed them all together. Now they're stuck together. The Zen got the trank out too late, and player got the 5K.
Yeah, I have a follow-up to that, which was how pissed was player when they didn't get the 6K because the Zen tranked.
Because I didn't realize, like, I just know that we had won the fight. I didn't actually see that, you know, he had all 5 kills.
Yeah.
All he wanted was that 6th kill, and then TW took the kill from him.
Classic.
Man. All right, and looking forward now, Wichita State, you guys are 5-3 now as you exit the Swiss stages. You have secured playoffs and probably a pretty decent seed at that. So, looking forward into the postseason, I just want to know, what is kind of the state of the Wichita State team? How are you guys feeling? What do you think your chances are of making a deep run?
It's looking pretty good right now, especially after we played today. We played really well, and so we're just hoping for the best going forward.
Great. Well, love that positive attitude. Damply, that's kind of everything we wanted to run through with you today. So we're going to let you go and celebrate with your team. But before you go, anybody you'd like to give a thanks to, give a shout out to, anything like that?
Shout out to Q Monty, who was in the chat the entire time. This is one of my friends. Glad that my friends come out and support and watch some of the matches.
Yeah, that's what we do. We do it for the support. Love to see it. But Damply, thank you again. Wonderful to hear from you. Looking forward to hopefully seeing some more from you in a deep playoff run. Best of luck.
Thank you.
And for everybody else joining us today, thank you as always for joining us for today's matches. Thank you, of course, all the ECAC staff behind the scenes that allow us to bring the game from their computers to your screens. And of course, Dividing, thank you for joining me today. Anything you'd like to say to close out the broadcast?
It's just been fantastic to take you all through the ECAC Swiss stages over these last 8 weeks. I've had a ton of fun bringing it to you, and we have 4 more weeks of incredible Overwatch action coming up as we crown a Spring 2022 champion. It's going to be a ton of fun, so I hope you stay tuned for it.
I'm on the edge of my seat already, and we'll see you all in the coming weeks.
Head at the end scenes, started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a sore. I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big. Jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The